What's going on, everybody? We are back again, another episode with the Newfie Growlers upon the conclusion of another season where we did not make the playoffs. Yes, that one season where we did, certainly looking like a fluke at this stage. But it was an interesting season. Again, we're hoping for some better player development, all things considered. I will say I did change the fighting consistency for Wes Corazzini, of course, as well as Camachi, which hopefully that helps out just a little bit. But fingers crossed, we see some good player development. The draft looks up for us a little bit, and that we're still in a good stage heading into the next season to hopefully, snap that streak of missing out on the playoffs. That is the hope. That is the dream. So we will see how this goes. By the way, the AHL team has made the playoffs and won in the first round, beating the Binghamton Devils. So not bad. They'll be playing Rochester. Of course, they have a decent team, all things considered. You might have to follow along with them here a little bit. Let's sim the first three games against Rochester. They won one of those playoff games 11-0, by the way. And they're currently up 2-1 on Rochester. So we'll sim the next two games because they can't possibly lose the series in that time. It's going to go to game 6, a chance to end the series, and they do. So the Aces, of course, they didn't bother customizing the team, but they're moving on to the conference final for the very first time, playing a very good Bridgeport team. And we'll see how they do. The answer is very, very poorly. It looks like their run is indeed going to end. They get swept by the Sound Tigers. Miles Bochenski led the team in points, but it was not enough. But a decent little playoff run there. It can't hurt for some of the prospects that we have in the system. Bridgeport ended up losing in the finals to, who the hell was it? San Jose Barracuda. And then, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup. Again, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, maybe not. Well, obviously, again, it would be at least a minimum third in their team's history. As we get a look, indeed, Merkley won the Norris. No real surprise there. Brayden Point wins the Conn Smythe. No trophies to show for us, all things considered. But how about in the AHL? That Baumgartner guy for the Thunderbirds did very well. No individual awards at any stage, at any level, but that is okay. Let's take a look at the previously aforementioned progress reports and see what we got. So Hugo showing up as a 91. Hannon now a legitimate 84, so he's at least developed where Marcourt did not. Leroy up to an 81. Not too bad. Again, looking primarily at the natural growth and not the statistical growth, of course. You have Geet up to a 76. He's got to be an NHLer for us next year. I'm a little bit worried that he's not going to develop at this stage. And for the most part, okay, so the good thing is Hines and Rayome have both developed to the point where they'll be in the NHL next year. But you notice here on this first page, not a lot of development. We do have some of our older players there, though. Penner up to a 74. Duchesne now a 73. Good development for him. Tim Orr, some late development. Maybe, just maybe, he could make a push to actually be an NHLer. Yves Dupont's there. De Silva with some decent improvement. Sim, a lot of the guys we picked up in the last draft, getting that much closer to potentially being, those depth player, the role players for us that we are going to need to be successful. So, not bad. I wouldn't say I'm overly surprised by anyone's development, unfortunately. Now, time will tell here how the lottery goes. We do not win it. We see ourselves with the 12th overall pick. So, the dream that some people had for me to select Josh Hutchinson is over before it even really began. If we ended up with the top 4 pick, I would have chosen him for the memes. But yeah, that's not going to happen. So no reason to worry about it or be concerned. As Nathan McKinnon retires, over 1,600 career points. Huberdeau retires as well. Some big names, of course, leaving the league. There was a few comments about, hey, can we take a look around the league and what teams look like? Obviously, though, a lot of these teams are going to be completely unrecognizable. Normally, I do take a look at teams a bit more frequently. We'll often look at the cup winner or something like that, but obviously this episode we didn't because I just want to get to the draft and see what this team looks like for the next season. But, normally we get to look at teams in the playoffs. Problem is we haven't made the playoffs aside from one time. So, hey, we'll see what happens. But looking here at the draft, of course, Chad Morgan is not going to be available to us, but Silas Chan is not going to be either because we fell. Unless somebody... Oh, man, he went up from 15 to 10. I think we're just going to miss out on him. That's not good. That is not good at all because the next player available to us is going to be projected to go outside of the first round. Francois Boumediene, I do believe, that is our first option from the Titans. So, unless by some miracle chance still available, we're going to be going for Boumediene. And then hopefully there's somebody else here, another Islander and Caden Krause. And then Philip Ortiz. Okay, so we do have some players available. Let's see how this goes here in the first round. Indeed, Chan is gone. He goes to the Islanders, 10th overall, 75, medium top 4. Good on you, Calgary, for getting the better pick there. Ooh, New York. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And UN as well. Hutchinson goes to Montreal, 79 overall, medium elite sniper. Josh Hutchinson. And again, man, I swear I see a franchise like every other draft. It's crazy. But obviously, that leaves this first round pick pretty much decided. Francois Boumediene, 6'3", probably a power forward rather than a two-way. Good defense, yeah, with good defensive zone play, he's actually going to be a two-way. So there we go, and not good at physical play. So never mind, I was completely wrong. Braden Shen comparison, 3-year ETA. The hope is he's a medium elite. I have a feeling he's going to be a medium top 9 just to kick me square in the balls. And no, okay, what do you know? For once, I don't get to leave the first round of this draft feeling like I just got kicked in the balls. So that's great. Thank you, EA, for actually helping us out for once. That's more than appreciated and more than welcome. Thank you. So we'll jump up to pick number 43. And with this pick, we are looking at Krause or Ortiz, and we're likely to end up with both of them. I think we'll take the risk with both of them over going for good old Rene here, who we know his potential for sure. So Caden Krause of the Islanders is the pick. 4-year ETA. Let's go for him. Will he actually be a low elite? Ugh. God, I hate that potential with a passion. I really do hate low top 6 forward potential with a passion. So bad. It's the worst. Maybe not the worst, but close to being the worst. Just see who goes here in the early stages of that second round as well. Not too many crazy steals. Let's go ahead and sim to the third round. I think we're going to be able to breeze through this draft relatively quickly. And unfortunately, Ortiz is off the board. He's got to be. He wasn't that good anyway. So we still made the right choice for who we selected at the time, but very disappointing that neither were as good as they possibly could have been. So here we're looking at Beaufait. We're looking at Vermette, not Phaneuf, not Mellock, or Gail Cracknell. One of these three has to be the pick, and I feel like obviously it's got to be Cracknell, who's probably going to be a low top 6 again. But I think we have to risk it. 4-year ETA, Cracknell. Yeah, Gail Cracknell of the Charlottetown Islanders is yet again the pick here. Yep, that was predictable. Okay, so I thought, maybe, hey, this draft will be half decent for us. Not quite, like it hasn't been awful, but it certainly hasn't been amazing for us. Let's see if we can turn that around here with a late pick or two. A lot of Huskies in this draft. And, Lemaire from the Wildcats, another Islander. In good old Matthew Benefieu. That's what I'm going with. If that's not how it's said, then guess what? I'm drafting him anyway and saying it that way every time. Better call Saul. Yep, okay. This is slim pickings at this point. I mean, clearly it's either Maurice Lemaire or Benefieu. And, yeah, Lemaire sucks and has a 4-year ETA. I wish Greg Champion's a great name. Oh, boy. And the 18-year-old Matthew Benefieu. I mean, what do we need more? What do we need more? I mean, really, I guess we just need the best player available. But this doesn't really help, does it? You gotta look there. Realm's Rams trade value is pretty nice. I guess forward-wise, we're probably a little bit... Yeah, we need defense. We desperately need that defensive help. So, congratulations to native French speakers who know how to properly throw the proper pronunciation and the inflections and the into Matthew Bethia. But congratulations, he's the pick because we need a defenseman. And he's shit, so don't worry about it. You'll never have to hear me say his name again. Damn it. Oh, this draft has been so bad. Oh, Cape Breton, St. John, and then from there, who the hell even knows? There was another Sea Dog. Another Islander and Antoine Broussard. Yikes. There was the Sea Dog, Francisco Likens. Another one in Marc Oulet. But yeah, this is not ideal, is it? So again, we don't really care about overagers. What about the younger options new to the drafting pool that we might be able to steal a year early? It's pretty much all we're able to look at here. There's actually a lot of younger players that are draft eligible here. And what about the big boys? Laurent Gaudet is still there. As is Jalen Linson, but neither are available. That is just cruel and unusual punishment. Okay, so let's take a look at who we've pinned here. This is 6th round? 5th round. Jesus. Well, shows how bad this draft is going to be for us. We need to select 3 of these players. And only Daniel Bure or Cody Vandenbush will be projected to go in this draft. Vandenbush! Hello! Elite speed, but has horrible agility. Oh, we're taking this guy. 6'4", good speed, passing ability, and a good puck mover. Doesn't have much strength. Yeah, this dude's... Vandenbush, please. Interesting. Medium... That is such a disappointment that you're a medium 7th. He does have 88 speed and acceleration with 85 passing, but everything else is horrific. Jesus, what a... Oh, man, if he could have even been like a medium top 6, he would have been such an interesting player. Didn't happen. And the only other guy who was projected to be drafted here is Daniel Bure, who is horrible. So let's just rule that out here. I'd like to go for Broussard. I just don't think we can trust it. He's 5 years out at 19. That's not going to happen. And the rest of our players outside of Marc Oulet are all younger. Let's just take a risk with one of these dudes who are fresh to the draft pool here. And I don't know who that's going to be. I mean, the most impressive point total is Francisco Likens. He's the only one that we actually have information on. Yeah, this is just wishful thinking. Let's take Likens from the Sea Dogs. See what happens. He's about as mad as you expected. And then we get to the 7th round. This has been awful. Matthew Gachet, John Weber, Jacques Labrie, or Camden King. I mean, we need defensemen, so Jacques Labrie will be the pick. He is terrible. Let's not talk about this draft ever again. More than likely we won't have to because we didn't really end up with too many good options. So that doesn't help. We have some, contracts that are up and such. We're going to have to figure all that out, but let's figure out, of course, the player contracts first and foremost. High elite, by the way, for Laflamme, but he's almost maxed out. So goaltending. Here's where we have the big choice. Now, Mr. DeBow, our goalie, is still there. We signed Malcolm Subban this past season as a cap hit, so to speak. So, yeah, Cousineau, obviously, needs to be re-signed. Geet needs to be re-signed. Penner will be re-signed. And Arussia will be re-signed. We'll bring back DuPont for 1 season before probably signing Morgan next year. That's what we're going to... Nope, DuPont would have to sign his DLC. We're just going to let go of DuPont. He's never going to make it. And we'll bring in a veteran to take up cap space. Defensively, Leroy needs to be signed, wants a decent amount of money. Camachi, who of course made the step up to the NHL level for the first time this year, needs to be re-signed. Mr. Deschamps needs to be re-signed as well. Rycroft, Friggin, Traverse, De Silva does need to be signed to his ELC. And from there, we're looking okay. We'll go back and fill out the rest of the defense in a bit. And then from the forwards, Wes Corazzini, looking for a big boy deal. Aiden Hannon needs to be signed. Cole Huckins needs to be brought back. LaPierre, and now you see the money is going to start going fast. Hines needs his ELC. We're going to bring back Gill, of course. Rayom and Marquardt will still be signed, even if Marquardt's been very disappointing. Who else here? Johan Loshing. We'll bring you back, Mr. DeMay. We'll sign you. And then, let's go for Duchesne, because he's 22, might still be able to develop. Who else? We have a lot of our veteran players. Orr needs to be brought back. Para, good old Pete Para, needs to be brought back. Cogliano needs to be signed and will. Vermette is probably never going to make it, but we'll still give him a shot. As we will with Norton as well, even though he's garbage. And Talbot, because screw it. We need someone to just develop out of nowhere, right? So let's go ahead and quick sim through all of this. We had a lot of people reject, which is okay. So goalie-wise, like I said, we'll bring in a veteran to fill out the rest of the cap space. Defensively, Camachi actually rejected that contract, which is hilarious. But we'll still look to sign him. He's our sixth there, and then 7. Well, I guess we'll just go 1, 2 since we don't have injuries. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So really, we don't have space for any of these guys. I think we're going to let them go. They would help with the overall, but we need players to develop here. So I hate to say it, but Darius Rycroft, second-round pick back in 2020, was apparently a pick of the Red Wings. I guess we never should have had him on the team. Yeah, whatever. He's still going to be dropped. He never really helped out the team anyway. Trey Friggin, fourth-round pick in 2026, will also be dropped. God, I hate this glitch where you can't properly scroll through frickin' players. Come on, EA. And Maurice Traverse, 2025, fourth-round pick. But yeah, if you try to scroll through, see? It doesn't bring you straight to Friggin. It brings you like back to the top of the list eventually. It's screwed. But yeah, we're going to drop those other 3. We'll hope that Camachi signs. And then for the forwards, I'm not surprised that Huckins and LaPierre rejected. Of course, they did so last year. And I think every year it's just going to be a pain to have to try to re-sign these guys to a boatload of money just to get them to stay. But from there, did anybody else reject? Doesn't look like it. So we do have to solve who's going to be on this team. So, of course, we have our top 8 here. 9, 10, 11, and 12 with Marquardt. So the AHL is 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So really, there's not too much space for anybody. So Mitch Holden is going to be dropped. 2024, 6th-round pick. Hate to tell you, Mitch, you're never going to make it. Clinton Garlock, 2023, 6th-round pick. Simply never going to make it. I don't think either of them ever played in the NHL either. Mario Dandino, 4th-round pick in 2024. He's going to be dropped, as is Darren Kearns, 7th-round pick in 2026. Marcus Vidicek did play in the NHL. He was a 3rd-rounder in 2022. 410 games with 122 points. I'm going to go ahead and drop him. Jean Robida is going to be the one that we bring back. And then I hate to say it as well, but Jean Savard, 1st-round pick in 2023. It is time to let go of Jean Savard. 131 points in 410 games. So, yeah. Some departures this year. Camachi's back. Huckins, LaPierre, and Robida. But the rest will be tossed to the wayside. Simply not good enough to bring back. We don't have the space to bring them back. So they shall be dropped, unfortunately. So we get to free agency. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and update the staff and everything like that. We'll do that off screen, I guess. I'll be back in 1 second. Enjoy this sweet jump cut.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
All right, we're back again. The team is set for the 2032-2033 season. However, I think what I'm going to do is start that season sim in the next episode, a little bit shorter on time than I thought I would be. But I still want to get you a look at what this team is going to be. Of course, coaching staff pretty much as best as we can get it. for the sake of trying to boost up this team artificially. That is at least the hope there. And then we get to the lines. Now, the top line is the big difference maker here. Rather than running with LaRue and Corazzini, I'm going to try something different to try and elevate Rayom and Hines, and we get them on a +5 next to Cole Huckins. You could argue what's more beneficial, them having no positive or maybe even just a +1 alongside LaRue, or this +5 next to Huckins on that top line to try and elevate them. I'm not entirely sure, which is why I want to give you guys an opportunity to get your 2 cents in there to see, what you think. The second line, though, and really all the way down to the fourth line, we at least have positives as well, as it's going to be Guy Boucher next to Zach LaRue and Aiden Hannon, and the third line of Laurent and Drouin Delorier with Wes Corazzini and Jacques Lapierre. Fourth line, of course, is the veteran line, Loshing, whatever, Pascal Duchesne, and Justin Gill. Now, obviously on the power play, you have Corazzini, you have LaRue in more ideal roles to try and counteract the fact that they're not on the top line. So that's kind of the give and take. Defensively, we have Louis Deschamps making the team. He's alongside Hugo Laflemme now. Second pairing of Sean Bates and Simon Belmar. And the third pairing of Philippe Sauve and Pierre Leroy. So that defense is honestly close to NHL caliber, all things considered. And again, the power play is a little bit screwed up, but we do have a +5 with Laflemme, LaRue, Huckins, Leroy, Rayom, Hines, Corazzini, Bates, Hannon, and Deschamps, trying to get the players with the highest overalls and the best potentials onto those more ideal roles. And of course, the goaltenders, Cousineau and Geet, who will hopefully continue to improve. We went up by 2 points just in the offseason alone. So potentially taking a very interesting path towards this upcoming season. It might pay off. Maybe it's a bit too risky. Let me know what you think. And then, of course, in the AHL, we still have guys like mainly Tim Orr and Alexander Lalonde, who probably aren't going to make it. Not too much in the way of potential down in the AHL. The defense is looking good, though. Jacob De Silva, someone who I am looking to see if he'll develop at all. So potentially a playoff team yet again down in the AHL. Of course, Chris Penner and old Nicky Roo is the backup, the tandem in the AHL. So let me know what you think. Some interesting ways to set up the team. That's what I came up with, though. I think it might be the most beneficial. Like I said, to get those 2 wingers on the top line, try to get them to develop as much as possible. They have the +5. You could argue, of course, we have a coach that rolls 4 lines, so that may pay off as well. But I was trying to think, what's the best way to get them to develop? And it might be a bit of a risk having Corazzini down on that third line. But like I said, he at least has power play time too. So it makes the 5-on-5 lines, gives us a lot more depth. There's no real weak line now in terms of the forwards. I think it's going to work out for us. But if you think it's too big of a risk, let me know. Our ratings this year, 84, 82, and a 79. We are a low-level NHL team. But we can officially say in terms of the ratings that we are NHL caliber, all things considered. So that'll do it for this one. I hope you did enjoy. Again, maybe not the most eventful episode in the world, but certainly setting the stage for what could be a playoff appearance coming up in this season. I will see you all in the next one. Until then, have a good one, take it easy, and go Growlers.